question I get asked all the time is, what kind of tools do you guys take when you're traveling across the United States? So today we're gonna go through and tell you what I use. Let's get to it. So I start off first with my cordless tools. I have a drill, I have a 1/2 inch impact, I have a nut driver. Why do I have all three? For different things. Of course, the drill is for drilling holes. And to go along with the drill, gotta have some drill bits. Now what I do is I pick up these at Harbor Freight every time they have them on sale. You can get them for like $9.99. So I get a couple boxes of those. I always put a fresh box in every year when we take off. That way if I break a few, no big deal. So the 1/2 inch impact, what we use mainly for that is I have a set of sockets here. They're all metric 1/2 inch. That covers pretty much most of my lug nuts, anything I really need to use. I've had this set for who knows how long. It's actually, I guess it is a Pittsburgh. It's actually a Harbor Freight item. I probably have had this for 10 years or more. No issue with it. While we're standing here, you gotta have a flashlight. We have several of those inside the trailer. What else we use with this guy here is I have bought these. Actually, I bought them from everywhere, but the last couple ones I've been picking them up at Harbor Freight too. What are they? Socket driver. We got a socket set we're gonna show you in a little bit. You put that on there, good for 1/4 inch and 3/8. I don't use it for 1/2 inch because I got the 1/2 inch impact. They give you a little holder to keep them in. Gotta have a charger to charge up the batteries for the cordless tools. I'm not recommending any particular brand. I have the Ryobi, and that's kind of what we use all the time at home. I'm switching over now to a different one, but right now this is what we're talking about. I used to carry around a floor jack. That got to be a real hassle taking it in and out of the back of the truck. So what I ended up doing was buying this 12-ton jack. That works out really. One more thing you gotta have is you gotta have boards to sit this on. Because depending on how high I need to raise it, you know, the top does expand, but sometimes with the trailer or the truck, I need to go up a little bit higher. I didn't show you the handles. Everybody knows the bottle jack handles come with it. But that's my jack. That's all we pretty much use all the time. I don't even use the jack on the truck when I have a flat. The bottle jack works so much better. Always have a tape measure. I actually keep one of these in the truck all the time. But I just wanted to say I did have that. I have 2 different hammers I usually carry with me, and Tam keeps one in the trailer too. I have a really big one that we use for driving stakes in the ground if we're putting something up. I have just a regular carpenter hammer. Sometimes I have a ball peen, just depending on what I grab. Stepping down here, you gotta have something just in case. This is once again something I leave in my truck all the time. And it's a jumper unit to where I can hook it on the side of the battery, give it a quick jump. If we leave the lights on, if the battery goes down, better be prepared. Like I say, one of these stay in all of our vehicles. Next is I do have a battery charger. Typically I don't use the tender when we're out traveling. It's a lot easier just to throw the battery charger on. You can use your, what this is, it's gonna give me a better charge, quicker charge. I don't have to leave it on forever. Looking at screwdrivers, I just have a variety of different size screwdrivers. I have a box I'll show you in a minute. Always have a pry bar. This actually stays in the front of the trailer. It's a little rusty. You know, and your normal other standard tools you have, pliers, needle nose. I have some side cutters. I got crimpers, which I'll show you that in a minute. I have wire cutters for stripping wires. I got an automatic stripper I bought. Needle nose vice grips, regular vice grips. I got some close pinching wire clippers. I also have an inspection mirror if I'm looking down for something, and I also have a magnet, you know, when you're gonna drop that down there. Gotta have something to pick it up with. I picked this up probably last trip we were out. Somewhere along the line I needed to have something to cut, and I didn't have a decent sized saw. So I got this little guy and I thought, you know, that'd be great. I can keep it in my toolbox. Always gotta have zip ties. Got different sizes here. Wire brush, you just never know when you're gonna clean off something. Electrical tape, gotta have electrical tape. Speaking of that, I have a whole lot of just miscellaneous wire connectors. You might say, oh, Bob, why don't you solder everything together? When you're out on the road, we ain't got time to be soldering. I can fix that when I get home. Last thing I have up here is my multimeter. Now you don't have to have a fluke meter, but you need to have something where you can check 120 volts, check 12 volts. You can use ohm meter or things like that. I had this when I used to work for work. I always liked fluke, and that's what I have here. Let's take a look down here on the floor and I'll show you what else I have down here. Now I don't always bring this along, but I have had it with us, and there's times that I've needed this because we've pulled into a camping site out in a rural area. The trees are hanging low. Instead of scratching the side of my RV up, I can throw the battery in here, and it's a quick saw. It takes just a few seconds to cut that wood. The toolbox that I put all those miscellaneous tools laying on is just right here. I just throw this in the back of the truck and that's where it stays. The last thing I'm gonna show you before I open this up is you gotta realize that these kind of boxes, and also that box, they're not watertight. Throwing them in the back of the truck, I thought, you know, no big deal. They're plastic, that's metal, water won't get in. Wrong. So now I put everything in plastic bags. So you're gonna see these tools are a little rusty, but hey, they still work just fine. This is probably the best set I have for tools other than my big toolbox for on the road. I've never ran into anything that I did not have here. You know, you got your standard wrenches there, your metric, you got all your ratchets here, they got Torx, they got square bits, they've got all kinds of different things. They got 1/2 inch. There's all your shallow sockets. There's my deep sockets that give you Allen wrenches to hit into everything. So this is kind of my basic set that I use. Now, this set is still being sold, but when I bought this probably, geez, I don't know, 10 years ago, it was on sale Black Friday for $99.99. It is no longer the set they have for $99 anymore. It's about 100, and when I was at the store the other day, I think it was about $169 now they're charging for this set. They've never had it on sale since for Black Friday. It's the Husky 290-piece set. They do make a smaller set that's 270, but I don't know what it's short. That's the one I bought for some of my son-in-laws. I've given them that set because I kind of thought it was the same, but it's not. So in a case like this, what I've ended up doing with this box was I drilled holes in the drawers now so the water runs through it if I forget to put the plastic bag in it. So this is kind of a quick wrap-up of what kind of tools I take on a trip. This covers pretty much everything that I kind of run into. You know, luckily, knock on wood, we haven't had anything major go wrong. Typically, mostly tires. I've had some air conditioning issues. You know, we're not taking a lot of extra things with us. Sometimes you can get away with just doing something to temporary fix it to get us by, to get us home, to where I can get it done here. Just like the brakes, I adjust all the brakes up, I get all the tires aired up, everything before we head out. I also have, two other things I forgot to show you is, got one more thing I got to show you guys. One of the last things that I forgot to show you that I actually had in the back of my truck, so I had to bring it over here, is a small compressor. I bring a small compressor along with a 50-foot hose, and you're thinking, what do you need that for? Well, to air up the tires. I've also got, which I can't find it here in the shop yet, but I got an industrial style tire gauge. I'll put a flash of picture up here of what it kind of looks like. One that you can just hold it on the tire. It'll tell you the pressure, squeeze it till it's full. That seems to be about the best. I used to have that when I had my filling station. So a couple things that I just wanted to show you that I forgot to show you, because some tools I leave in the front of the trailer, and I thought I grabbed them all. Next thing you need is a good pair of adjustable pliers. I leave these because these are also what I help to open, turn valves, open things like that out on the outside of the trailer. Things that, we won't talk about all that. So there's a couple other things I want to show you. Besides that, is I do carry a couple different spray tools. What do you think about spray tools? Things, when those things don't want to come loose or make a bunch of noise, what are we going to use? PB Blaster. I found this, geez, probably 40 years ago. My brother told me about it. I had something that was completely rusted shut. It was a lift gate on the back of my tool truck. And I sprayed this on it, let it sit about 15 minutes, and it unfroze it. So I use that all the time. TAM'S favorite is WD-40. Get rid of those squeaks. And the last thing is white lithium grease. And you go, Bob, what the heck do you use that for? This is what I spray on my trailer hitch ball to keep it running smooth and not squeaking and making noise. So I do that about once a week or so, depending on how often we're traveling. A lot of times here I can grease it all up if it doesn't rain or anything and I don't unhook the trailer. It'll last us till we get to Daytona. So this is kind of just a quick rundown of all the tools that I use when we travel. I've had a lot of questions of people asking me, could you please do a video? What I do with all this stuff is pretty much most of it is in the back of the truck. I'll show you the exceptions of what I put in the truck, what I put in the trailer. All the cordless tools and the power pack and the jack and the drill bits, they are all in the front of the trailer. Same thing with the sockets. The lubricants that we have, those are in the front of the trailer. The charger, it's in the back of the truck, inside a bag too. That is in the back of the truck, inside my toolbox. All these tools are inside the toolbox, other than this one. And the pry bar, it stays in the front of the trailer. The big box of tools, which I've already kind of explained why it got all rusty, it is in the back of the truck. You may ask me, Bob, what? Aren't you afraid people's gonna steal your stuff? Two things we've got. One, the tailgate locks, and we have a hard cover that folds over. I don't have it on the truck right now, so I can't show you. Maybe I'll show you that on another one. I bought that, it was made in America, so I bought that years ago. When I first got my truck. I got that hard cover on it. Not like the Ranger, I don't like that cover at all. But that's another story, another video. So if you guys got other tools that you think I should have or questions about why I have the tools I have, put it down here in the comments. Let me know what you think. Tam's not feeling real well. She's at home. We've been suffering through some colds, and I don't know if she's got the flu now. I don't know what's going on. So she's at home. So I thought, this would be a good day to do my tools and talk about what I use when we're traveling. So that's it. That's all I got. No more to say. So with that, I want to thank you all for hanging out and checking out my tools that we use. Like I say, if you've got any comments, questions, put them down here in the comments. We appreciate everybody. We love you all. Can't do this channel without having you in there. We're just steps away from heading to Daytona. Tam's got to get down here and get that all cleaned up. And hopefully before we leave, we'll have all the stuff in the shop done. And we got a bunch of more videos coming up before we leave. And we're already starting to kind of talk. If you watched our live the other day on New Year's Eve, we had a lot of our vendors. I had Rod from the Buffalo Chip came on and talked about the campgrounds and things like that. You might go back and check that one back out. So with that, we're going to leave you. And we'll see you all later. From Arizona, right here in the shop. I actually got the heat running today. Checking that out. First time I used the split unit for a heat. It's raining outside. It's about 49, 50 degrees, and I'm actually kind of sweating a little bit. Got it set about 70. It didn't take long at all to warm this room up, so I'm really happy about that. So Emery HVAC, hats off to you guys again for doing a great job. Actually, I put that in, but he got it for me. So with that, see y'all later. Bye.